Okay, the first question goes to Sue Horne. This may be a little bit redundant with your opening statements, but it'll give you a chance to expand. Explain how you meet the minimum qualifications for the position.
I meet the minimum qualifications because I have executive management experience, not only in private business, but in the public sector. The assessor's office is a local government function, and it's critical to have an assessor that understands local government. And I have approved budgets of over $190 million with over 1,000 employees. Both my competitor and myself will have to take the Board of Equalization appraiser certification course to qualify. Once we have, whoever wins is going to have to take that course. The trainee appraiser level license that my competitor holds is not applicable to the Board of Equalization certification process that's needed to hold an office of the assessor appraisership.
Mr. Kleinhans, same question.
Well, the assessor is a constitutionally mandated position, and the oversight of that office comes from the State Board of Equalization. In fact, the State Supreme Court held in 1992 that the oversight of supervisors for the office of assessor is expressly prohibited. Well, the minimum requirements for an entry-level position to value your property is dictated by the State Board of Equalization and picked up by Nevada County. And I'm the only candidate that not only meets those initial and beginning requirements, but vastly exceeds them in knowledge and experience.
Thank you. Next question is for Mr. Kleinhans. Is the assessor able to change the method of determining assessed valuation? If so, what would you recommend? And if not, should you be able to?
Evaluation is usually done in a fairly straightforward manner. You really shouldn't be changing the way a property is valued. As a matter of fact, it's best to apply consistent methodologies across the board. Given the reductions that have happened in our property values in the last few years, no properties can be valued on an individual basis. There are simply too many. What's been used is a statistical model and on median price declines, and they've applied that to your values that you have. Once those values are determined, they are shifted over to the auditor controller who actually applies the tax rates. So I don't believe that they should be changed because you do need consistent, verifiable, and trackable methodologies. Systems that I'm very familiar with.
Same question? Want to repeat it?
Yes, would you repeat the question?
Absolutely. Is the assessor able to change the method of determining assessed valuation? If so, what would you recommend? And if not, should you be able to?
The assessor is not able to change the method of valuation, and the method of valuation is determined in part by the Board of Equalization rules and regulations, the assessor's handbook. The whole process of assessment is governed by the California Constitution, primarily Article 13 and 13A. That's Proposition 13. Which is Article 13A, and things like Proposition 8, which allows for the reduction of assessment in values if indeed your assessed property is higher than the market value. You have a right to reassessment. The process of assessment is in fact very complex, but the ability of the assessor to change that valuation does not lie with the assessor, it lies with the state of California.
Okay, thank you. Third question goes to Sue Horne first. What, if anything, could the assessor do to make the office more efficient?
If I am elected assessor, I will do a top-to-bottom review of all the processes in the assessor's office. The assessor's office presently has a 20-year-old computer software program that is archaic and incredibly inefficient, and it does not communicate adequately and interface adequately with the auditor controller's office and the treasurer tax collector's office, two offices that work very closely with the assessor's office in the property tax administration of the county. So I will work closely with the administration office. I have a very good working relationship with the county office and those offices presently to plan for and to implement a change in the software for the property tax administration, and that will be applied. You know, it is in the long-term strategic plan of the county, but we need to get that in place, and in the long term, that will save taxpayer dollars, and that will provide efficiency and a more effective office on behalf of the taxpayer.
Okay, Mr. Kleinhans, same question.
Would you please repeat the question for me?
What, if anything, could the assessor do to make the office more efficient?
Well, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing is you're going to have to go back to the Board of Supervisors, who will have to agree with your assessment of the budget, which is developed out of the assessor's office. And if there's a 20-year-old archaic system, it's because budgets weren't sufficient to upgrade it for the supervisors that in fact did have some say in budgets over the last 8 to 10 years. In speaking with some of the people that have worked in the assessor's office, it's not that archaic. It has been upgraded. When you see people working with 24-inch flat screens side by side and being able to transfer that data unilaterally, it's not that old. But there is room for improvement. Part of it is efficiencies that I would be able to bring to that office because I do know how properties are valued and how I can integrate with department heads because I've had to do that for over 25 years. It's my work. It's what I do. One of the things that I would personally take care of is a new website based solely for the education and for disseminating information to our citizens. And I will set that up, establish it, and fund it out of my own account to make sure that's done. That should take a significant load off of staff at counters, be able to answer almost any question initially on a 24/7 basis. So those are some of the first steps. In-depth analysis, being on the ground, working with staff, and helping them out will make further efficiencies available. Thank you.
And that was our final question. Thank you for